Good morning, Bhande Matram. Welcome all of you. This morning we are going to discuss a beautiful topic, of course, a marvelous topic that is on human will and divine will. So this is the topic of discussion, most magnifying topic. Of course, it is a very interesting topic we are going to discuss. Almost the we have to take a difference between human will and divine will. Of course, what is the divine will, and what is at present the human will, and how the human will can be converted into the divine will, and if the human will can be made one almost with the divine will, then what will happen. So things are going to be discussed, of course, in brief in our at present discussion right now. So while we are interested in going for the topic discussion of the topic, we must know about free wills we are aware of course, on the path. While we go for the discussion, couple of wills we normally we come across, that is good will, last will, divine will, human will, free will. So these are the terms these are almost the yogic terms. When we come across, we get sometimes astonished, sometimes we get actually anxious to know what really these things, these wills really this means. Anyway, we are going to discuss everything from Mother and Sri Aurobindo's writings about these wills. So initially, we'll take Sri Aurobindo, and we'll find what is the of course will. Initially we'll see from Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo gives two beautiful messages on this will. It is comingly, it is two dignified, magnified definitions on will. Our human will is a misled and wandering ray that has parted from the supreme puissance. Originally, there is nothing like human will, divine will, God's will, nothing like this. Everything was on the top, it has come out here, come down here, it has descended there. So, Sri Aurobindo tries to explain and quote very beautifully: our human will is misled and wandering ray. It has been perverted, misled and wandering ray that has parted from the original supreme puissance. From the supreme puissance it has come, it has been misled here, it is wandering here. So same part, same thing, it has been descended from the higher hemisphere, from the supreme puissance, it is a part. And again, Sri Aurobindo beautiful quotes tries to explain beautifully: nothing can prevail against the soul's entire will. Another will is partial will, fragmented will, that is actually supreme will. So soul's will, another will say, see, will of mind. Here soul's will. Nothing can prevail against soul's entire will to reach the divine. What is the entirely? What is the soul's entire will? That is to reach the divine, and nothing can prevent it. Of course, even if we are unconscious, we are staying limited in the limited periphery sphere, we don't have that much exposure. Anyway, nothing can prevail against the soul's entire will to reach the divine. So here also human will, that is a part of the supreme puissance. Second, soul in from the reverse side, soul has to go to reach the divine. Nothing can prevail it. So this is the circle, involution and evolution. This is the circle from top to bottom and bottom to top. This process is a regular process. It is going on now. We'll see another format, that is actually goodwill. Mother quotes on goodwill very beautifully. Mother, of course, quotes. There is very interesting definition as given by the mother. Interestingly, we'll see. So, Sri Aurobindo, after reading Sri Aurobindo, we'll see the mother has quoted on goodwill: goodwill for all and goodwill from all. Goodwill for all and goodwill from all is the basis of peace and harmony. Basis of peace and harmony, for this peace and harmony, the only requirement is that goodwill for all and goodwill from all. That we have taken the example, one rich man, he came to a slum. He actually initially he underestimated the people who are staying in the slum area. He built a beautiful big building, something like a 5-storied or 7-storied building he built up. It was enlightened everywhere. Then out of this ego, when it was finished, he planned, okay, I will light up all the points throughout the house and sleep merrily, so that these people who are staying and living in this basti or this slum, they will feel envied, so I will enjoy. Anyway, he did this, and afterward found the slum and this actually these insects were whatever they are in the slum area. Well, when they found the lights are getting enlightened, they rushed in, disturbed his sleeping. This man, rich man, could not sleep. Then he decided it is not the right thing that I have planned and I have thought. So thing is that if I want to stay alive, I want to stay happily, then naturally it is required that I must have goodwill for all and goodwill from all. That is the basic of peace and harmony. Again, beautifully mother has quoted, the will to will what the God wills. Nothing depends upon us to will what the God really wills. That is the major factor, the major thing. What mother quotes here, to will what God wills, that is the supreme secret. Secret is to will what really the God wills. Again, the divine's will is that we should be like channels always open. So we should be channels of the divine, always open, always more wide, so that his forces may pour their abundance into the mood. So naturally, the most requirement is we must be channel, it must be wide, and it must be open, so that his puissances must be poured into the mood in abundance. Again, mother quotes, we must lie before the divine always, like a page perfectly blank, totally blank. He has to come and write that slate, that page, totally it must be blank, so that the divine's will may be ascribed in us without any difficulty or mixture, because it is only totally clean. He has to come, he has to ascribe, he has to write. That is what the divine will, it has to be assigned and ascribed on us. Again, mother quotes, to do at each moment the best we can and leave the result to the divine's decision. Thing is that that is what we are just like in instruments, workers. So we are the divine children. Everything whatever we are going to do, we must leave the result to the divine, to its omnipotence, leave the works result. And the surest way to peace, happiness, strength, progress, and final perfection, these are the things will come when we will be open to him and leave everything to our works result to him. Anyway, mother again quotes, the only thing you have to do is to remain quiet, undisturbed, solely turn towards the divine. The rest is in his hands. From our side, only three things can be done: remaining quiet, remaining undisturbed, solely turned towards the divine, and the rest he will take care. Be quiet and offer yourself calmly and confidently. That is what requirement. All that happens is always the effort to Supreme's will. Nothing within our hand, nothing upon our choice. So human action can be the occasion, but never is the cause. So it is there. We must think it. We feel whatever we do, that is final. Whatever we ask, that must be granted. Nothing like this. There is a supreme consciousness that governs the manifestation. There is a supreme consciousness that governs the entire manifestation. His wisdom is certainly much greater than ours. We know very limited, because mind, that is a very small instrument. So we need to bother about we won't bother about what will happen. That is, leave everything to his hands. Everything will be done by this transfiguring hours. The Lord is always victorious, no doubt of it. It is his own way, not in the human way, according to his own will, not according to the human will of man. So everything will be decided, done, it must be fixed, it must be attributed and ascribed by the divine will only. The Lord is always present, only we do not realize it. That is our lacuna, our problem. And again, we'll go for the another discussion, another will, that is actually free will, that another will we have taken. Sri Aurobindo quotes in Savitri, of course, nature and fate compel his free will choice. nature and fate, they are imposing. So man, even if he is having a free will, it is not coming into the force. So again, still in the course, but greater spirits, this is imposition. It is for the smaller spirits, lower spirits, but the greater spirits, this balance can reverse and make the soul the artist of his fate. So this is the mystic truth. Our ignorance hides. Doom is a passage for for our unborn force. This is what we must realize and we must take care, because if the greater spirit for them fate, this destiny, it never works. This astrology, this astrological calculation, nothing happens, because everything is changeable with the grace of the Divine Mother. Again, we are going to quote about the uh, divine will again from the writings of Sri Aurobindo. Couple of lines will see what divine will actually, what Sri Aurobindo exactly quotes. When how shall we know this is either a human will or it is a divine will? What is the difference? What is the symptom? What is the significance? So that from that we can get at least some hints that it is divine will or it is of course a human will. Sri Aurobindo tries to explain us in his own wordings. When the mind is pure and the psychic prominent, two conditions are required. One is purity of mind. Second, prominence of psychic. When the mind is pure and psychic is prominent, then one feels what is according to divine will and what is against it. That is what the point of discussion we are here. When the mind is pure and psychic is prominent, then one can feel what is according to divine will and what is against it. Sometimes without knowing actually what we do, what we really go to the some sadhus, some tantrikas or something, that will ask what is really happening. But you can also know if you are doing the sadhana. If you really were sadhaka, then that condition, true proximal conditions are there. Mind is pure and psychic is prominent. Again, Sri Aurobindo quote, what the divine wills, that is always for the best. Never complain, never compromise, never compare. That is what the requirement. Stay open, have faith in the divine grace, and you must be confident that something, what will be what will going to happen, that will be the for the best of us. What the divine wills is always for the best, even when the mind does not see how it is. Mind, it has got its limitation, it does not see, but thing is that what is happening, that is the for the best of us. Again, towards the end, so far we have seen something on goodwill, free will, then human will, divine will. Now itself we feel, will see what is the, if these two, divine will, it is the supreme, having supreme positions. This human will, it is at the bottom level only, so it is a portion of the divine will. And supreme, this soul is actually, it is in its process, in its progress towards to meet the supreme soul. For these supreme positions, nothing can stop it, because soul is simply non-stoppable. Now few lines we will quote from Savitri, Sri Aurobindo quotes relating this human will and of course divine will. Sri Aurobindo quotes God's will. If human will could be made one with the gods, number one. If human will could be made one with the gods. Second, if human thought could echo the thoughts of God will be echoed in the man, and the will of God's will be made one with the human will. Then outcome, then man might be all-knowing and omnipotent, whom now feels gods are all-knowing, gods are omnipotent. But if there is a possibility man can be all-knowing and omnipotent, condition is that thoughts of God will be echoed in human thought, divine God's will be equal to the human will. But now he walks in nature's doubtful ray. But now man is working in the nature's doubtful ray. So there is we feel that not possible. Yes, the assures it. Can the mind of man receive God's light? Number one, mind of man receive the God's light, and the forces of man can be driven by the God's force. Man's force limited; it will be driven by the God's force, and the mind shall receive God's light. Then is he a miracle doing miracles? For so can only he be the nature's king. So this is the condition we are going to see. Thank you. Vande Mataram.